called me. He's asked me about operational things. He knows how to coach. It was just very funny for them to go out there and just get absolutely obliterated.
Game passes all of us by eventually.
This is the Joe Gaither Show on
Hello, hello.
BamaCentral.com.
I can't hear me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. I hear you. Huh. Hold on, let me see if you're coming through here. Talk again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm not even in there. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. What the hell? Hello, hello. I hear you. It looks like you're coming through on my little screen here. So weird. I don't know. 1, 2. Oh no, that's my computer. I don't know. I guess we'll just roll with it. I guess that's weird. Are y'all plugged in and everything? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you hear me? That's not changing anything. Do you hear me?
No, not in my headphones.
That's got to be a headphone issue because I heard you. Yeah, take that sucker out. Is it right? Not in the right put? Or yeah. That probably is going to help. Let's find out. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You there?
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Okay. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today? It's the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. Hanging out with you guys in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. Hope you and yours are having a great day. We are, after we get all the headphones plugged into the right microphone ports. So we're live here, ready to talk to you on the Bama Central YouTube channel, ready to hang out with you on the Bama Central Facebook page, on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither 6. You're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, and we are hopefully going to have a little better show today than we did yesterday. Yesterday was just all scatterbrained, Mason, and I didn't really take any notes today either because of just so much to talk about, but we'll hopefully have a little more focus day to talk about Alabama losing to Florida State, to talk about the coaches, what they had to say yesterday. Was it satisfactory to you? No, it wasn't to me. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk really about all kinds of things on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. But first, we want to remind you, we're brought to you by Derek Daniel State Farm Insurance. You can call Derek at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs: home, life, auto insurance, renter's insurance, boater's insurance, RV insurance, really everything that you could think of in the insurance realm. Derek Daniel and his team will take care of you. Call him at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel and State Farm is there. Mason Woods back at it. You survived the weekend. You survived a day at Home Depot. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. You know, I didn't really want to talk yesterday. And so talking with Theo was like a little bit of a challenge. You know, we don't have a real job, but sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge. And I'm feeling a little better today. How are you ready to talk? Are you ready to talk about everything that happened? Because like I've been in a bleep it mode, and so many people have messaged me. I've been overwhelmed by it, and it's just like, thanks for messaging me when things are good, Billy. But no, I've just been overwhelmed, and so I don't really want to keep chatting about it. But we have to. We get to right here on the show in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studio. So I'll just ask you to open us up, like by one. How are you? And two, just what's the state of life going on in the Woods brain?
Bad. It's bad. It's been bad since Saturday. Since Saturday evening, it's been bad. Really, since Saturday at about about 3:00. It could turn pretty quick. That was an all-time just atrocious performance, and we will get into the nitty-gritty of it, like you said. But yeah, it has been a brutal however many hours since then. I don't want to do math right now. I mean, you know, it really just sucked any bit of joy out of the weekend from watching the rest of college football kick off.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, I I couldn't even hardly get into the LSU game. Couldn't really get into the Miami Notre Dame game. Hardly could get into that UNC game last night, which that was not even a game to begin with. But it just really just sucked every bit of life out of the weekend. And that that's about what that Alabama team looked like out there. It was just zero life. It was just like I just said, like atrocious, top to bottom. There is maybe one positive takeaway from this game, and it was Jeremy Bernard. But we told you months ago that he's probably going to actually be your wide receiver one. So that's kind of what we expected from him. I am just, I feel foolish for falling for the offseason hype. We were part of the media machine that everyone is so angry with for hyping up this team. I thought we were a bit measured at times, but I still fully anticipated that this team was going to be a very good football team, and they are talented on paper, sure, whatever. That means nothing. They did not show any of that on Saturday, and it is very disappointing to be sitting here, admitting that I was incorrect about this football team. It's tough.
Yeah, it's absolutely tough, and really, the toughest part to me is not knowing which way which way to like how to I'm not Kalen DeBoer, but if I were Kalen DeBoer, I would even be confused on what do we do now with the game approaching us on Saturday. There's not a whole lot of time to, hey guys, we got to fix X, Y, and Z. Let's get out to the practice field and spend 8 hours. There's just not a whole lot of time for that, so it's kind of going to be a week to week. Can they focus on small areas and improve on them? And can you really figure out where the motivation button is with this team? Because you got to smash it and smash it and smash it even harder than you have ever smashed it before. Yesterday they talked about, well, we know what the stakes are now. These aren't learning moments anymore. We've had an accountable 48 hours. Just a bunch of little comments that have made me think, none of that means anything because you haven't had long enough. Of course, I just upset my mom and dad as a kid, and I can act good for 48 hours. I really could have. I could have behaved myself for 48 hours after what was the one thing that I did? I smashed a window with a baseball, right? And oh my gosh, dad's going to have to replace a window, and I'm in trouble, glasses everywhere. Mom's going nuts because glasses everywhere, blood and danger for other siblings. Like, yeah, you smash a baseball through the window, I can act like a cherub for 48 hours. Does that mean that the next time a baseball's in my hand, I'm not just going to sling it right through another window or play ball in the house? No, like you just don't know. Like, it's 48 hours.
That's exactly what we're going to see from this team. They're going to play they're going to play a bye game against ULM, and they're going to look like world beaters out there, and everybody's going to say, well, yeah, that was a pretty good performance, and they're going to jump right back on the train, and then you get into some real football, and it's going to be tough.
I watched ULM on Friday, Mason, while I was just around the house. That's a bad football team.
They're going to make Alabama look very good.
49-0. I'm just going to go ahead and call it a shot. It's going to be the most boring 49-0 that you've ever had. You're going to get a couple big runs.
Run, pass.
Right. You're going to get a couple big runs, and the defense is never going to be challenged the entire time. And people are going to think, wow, maybe they got it fixed. Don't watch this game and think anything.
Yeah. Don't take any opinions away from this game unless they lose. Then that will confirm what we know about this team right now.
Exactly. So what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with conversations from yesterday, the press conferences? Do you want to talk about the game? Because I talked about the game a little bit with Theo, but I'm happy to rehash any part of the game you want to get into, or we can go ahead and start talking about fixes or firings or how do you want to lead us today, Mason? You've had all weekend to think about this.
I think it'd be and
maybe
an okay exercise to work backwards a little bit and start with the coach comments and then get into the actual game. Because I was, if I had to pick the best of the three, I'd probably say it was Kane, but not any of them gave me any semblance of confidence with his team moving forward. More so than the others, Kalen DeBoer. Like I'm not trying to sound mean here, but he sounded like a bumbling buffoon up there. Like it just. I was talking to my wife about this, and I understand no one is going to be Nick Saban. I don't want Kalen DeBoer to be Nick Saban. But Nick Saban and other high-level college football coaches alike command a certain level of respect when they speak. and the people around them show a certain reverence to those people when they speak because they command respect. Kalen DeBoer does not have any of that. The way that he talks, the attitude that he kind of carries himself with, it just, to me, it really does not make me want to perk up and listen at all. And I don't know if that's just his nice Midwestern sensibilities, but I just don't know that really flies. And, supposedly over the last 24 hours or so, I know I saw some comment from a former player of his that he can flip that switch. Well, buddy, I think it should have been flipped. That switch should have been flipped after Vanderbilt last year. Maybe he has that extra gear that we're not seeing, that extra bit of fire that we have not, been privy to yet. But I don't know.
Well, Nick Saban used to do the one thing, like he used us as a tool. Right now, Coach DeBoer is not using the media as a tool. He is just enduring the press conferences. Yeah. He's just going. He's answering the questions. He's getting out of here. Surely he realizes that Billy 4-star and 3-star and 5-star are watching these press conferences and watching some of these answers, and their mothers are watching these press conferences and thinking, sending it to their sons. Mm-hmm. And here's what Coach DeBoer said about this part of the game.
I don't think there's been anything he said that I took away as like, oh, that's a nice, like, I can apply that to my life. That's a good life lesson to take away.
Right. He's just answering the questions, which there's nothing inherently wrong with, but he could use that as a time to, I'm spreading the message to my team. Not good enough. Not good enough. Not good enough. But need to improve. Need to focus on the little things. Details. No hesitancy. Go out, attack. Kirby Smart uses the media like a tool.
I think all those coaches, like, they come into press conferences with an agenda. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get my message across here.
Right.
I don't think Kalen DeBoer has ever shown up to a press conference with a notepad or anything. No, not one thought in his head of like, I need to get this message out there. It's just, let's see what they ask and get through it, like you said.
Well, Joe asked me a question. I'm just going to answer it.
It's just
Nick Saban, you would ask him a question, and from time to, not often, but from time to time, you'd ask him a question, and he would just give you an answer that had nothing to do with the question. Not a single thing.
He'd like repeat it back to you, sort of, and then just go off into a completely different answer.
How can we get the quarterback to play better? Well, it's not really about the quarterback playing better. It's about the whole team playing better. The whole team doing the little things that they need to separate themselves and play better than they can play as an individual. Because when they come together and play 100% every play and play around the quarterback, then the quarterback does play better. He just goes like, I don't even care about answering your question about Jalen Hurts. I'm going to make this about the offensive line and the running backs and the receiver. Well, they're not playing good around the quarterback.
And it's not that he like developed into that either. Like, he was like that from day one. Saban was always that way. It was not, well, let me win 4 or 5 championships, and then I have this respect where everyone listens to everything I say and they take every word with, with so much weight and reverence. He was always that way. From the first press conference he laid down, especially here, like, people took his word as gospel. It was, and they're just, I don't know, there isn't that same level of, I don't even know what you want to call it with Kalen DeBoer, but it's just missing something.
So yeah, yesterday he goes and basically is trying to figure out the whys, trying to figure out why what happened on Saturday didn't match what we saw on tape in practice, because they asked him, we all asked him about, did Florida State do anything that surprised you? Did Florida State pull out looks that you didn't see or weren't prepared for? No, most of all the looks were what we practiced for. And so, like, I'm hearing that thinking, ooh, are y'all just not practicing hard? Do y'all not? Is there not a coach on this staff? And there is. There's 2 of them that were on the Coach Saban staff. Is there not a coach on this staff that knows what a hard practice looks like? So they can't. If you don't know what a beautiful woman looks like, then every woman is a beautiful woman, right? You're like, if you don't know what a hard practice looks like, then wow, you guys are sweating hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, I can't decide honestly if that's more upsetting or less, because on one hand, coaching staff knew what they were doing, and your players just did not play up to the level they needed to, did not give the effort they needed to, did not play with any bit of fire. Or on the other hand, your coaching staff just didn't know what they were doing. It's both bad. It's bad either way. This team is in a bad spot right now.
Terrible spot. He asked about really great.
The great week, the debacle of the great week.
I said that. Yeah, Coach. 3 minutes ago. 3 minutes ago, in the first answer was how do you explain? The first question was like, how do you explain the lack of effort, or did you see lack of effort? And then his second paragraph, right? We might be setting an edge again, hesitant with communication, just kind of confirming, or just we believe and have that confidence in what we're doing. There really wasn't much. It was really, I think I spoke maybe that there was a couple looks that we hadn't practiced. I don't really feel like it was really bad at all. After watching the film, I thought we did a good job preparing. I thought the guys had a great week.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to translate the numbers that you see on the football field. Like, I hate to say this, but just read the transcript. Read the transcript and tell me that that it sounds like coherent thoughts.
It's a lot of, I feel like that whole exchange of what are you asking about? What I said, it's just gears turning in his head. I don't have an answer. I got to come up with an answer. And then finally word salad here in front of you. He's not prepared for these press conferences.
He needs to take the Ryan Grubb and Nick Sheridan path. Nick Sheridan last year, but we were all in the media room like, wow, he's kind of rude. Which he wasn't. He wasn't at all.
As a matter of fact.
Exactly. That's all. People are like, he's not giving us anything. He's so rude. And I'm like, he's just not. He's just being direct.
Telling you exactly what he wants to tell you.
Exactly. He's only answering the question and nothing more.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and Grubb does the same thing. Grubb's like, straight to the point. If this press conference is 50 questions because all my answers are a sentence and a half, well, that sentence and a half is going to be the answer. He just needs to borrow from his friend Ryan Grubb, where it's just like, are you disappointed in the effort, or do you see bad effort? Yeah, we saw bad effort. We're handling it.
Bingo. I would have loved that answer. That would have been great. That's a lot better than, I said that.
Like four paragraphs of yeah, buts. Yeah, we were right there at 24-17. Really, we should have had the ball. We should have had the ball 3rd and 11 on defense with 9 minutes to go. And just how far we came in that probably previous 10 to 15 minutes of the game, I felt like, man, this thing's going to happen. And there's a real belief and confidence that I think was building on the sidelines. You got to finish. You got to get the stops. It comes back to just that effort, but it has to happen from the very first play.
What do you think of I don't remember exactly when it was, but him basically saying, I can talk to the team differently now than I was able to last year, and trying to, at least in my opinion, that's like this weird excuse is like, well, you guys, you didn't see what I dealt with. It just felt very like, again, nothing he said gave me any confidence, do you have the transcript there? I know I saw Nick Kelly had tweeted out, and then I saw the actual quote. It was something about, last year's team couldn't talk, it couldn't talk to them the same way. We're not going to get into that or something, though. It was just another all over the place quote that hardly meant anything.
Yeah. Okay. I can address that. It is, great week of press and how much he scales, but yeah, this is in the great week.
Okay.
All right. I really feel like the tone of the locker room after the game, at least from my standpoint, and how I can address the team is completely different than a year ago. We don't need to speak in those terms, but it feels different. There's more of a flat out upset. I can use a lot of different words to explain it. Really upset about how it went. These aren't winning moments anymore. This is about us and our program. And again, we understand the situation we put ourselves in, and that we're in, but it's a long season. Let's take care of business this week, and that's going to set up the next week. Then we'll worry about that. That's been our philosophy all along, but we really got to go live it now.
Why didn't you talk? Have you not talked to them in this way the whole season? Have you just been like coddling the team? Like
Well,
what is
that was
this,
the whole messaging.
like
of,
what is this extra? There's more things I can say. What say them? Why have they not been said?
Right, that was the whole messaging of the summer and fall camp was, hey, starting in January, we mother bleep these guys.
Yeah.
Starting in January, we made them work. We made them do X and Y and Z. We told them my way or the highway. Starting in January,
I didn't see any of it. Not out there on the field.
well, okay, that takes us to a good spot in merging yesterday's press conferences and the game. Kane Womack was asked about really just schematics and matching up personnel and just kind of what they were doing defensively. And he talked about the sideline and talked about maintaining the life of the sideline was kind of his point. And he said, we do a good job with coaches making schemes and adjustments, but sometimes the iPads, he's talking about the iPads and basically was like, sometimes we need to kind of put that aside and keep the main thing, attacking hard, playing hard, right? So
You got a bunch of toddlers on their dang sideline.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting here reading between the lines, and is Kane Womack sitting there telling you that I've got how many defensive assistants that are on the sideline? 5, right? So 5 or 6, 4, 5 or 6, right? Just depends on you've got Freddie Roach, you got Chuck Burrell, you've got Mo Linguist, you got Jason Jones, right? And then you've also got Kane Womack. So there's your 5. And Christian Robinson, 6. So you got all these guys on the sideline, and they're all putting their heads together, doing film study of what happened on the last play and what's the perfect play that we can call against these looks. Well, it's got to be Red Rover 71
Whatever.
cover 1 whatever. It's got to be Green Rover 70, whatever the case may be. They've got all their plays that they're just spitting out and debating which one's the right play to call. Somebody's got to get their head out of the iPad and realize it's not in slow motion speed. That's actually how fast they're running. That's actually how pathetic they are attacking at the point of attack.
Yeah.
You've got to get at least one of these coaches to go up and down and mother bleep these guys, live in there. Like Freddie does a good job in practice. What was he doing in the game? I mean, we see it every single time we're at practice. Freddie is living in somebody's rear end and getting, come on, Steve, you're not firing off. Come on. And same thing, Kane Womack, we've been out there when he's mother bleep somebody and he's just, you got the mother, and like, I don't think you should operate that way all the time as a coach, because I think that sometimes the messaging gets worn down. Man, Coach Charlie, he's yelling at me again.
Yeah.
I don't care, whatever. He always yells. He doesn't have any other way to talk. But like at some point, it's like you got to recognize that Bray Hubbard is loafing and throw in someone else and rip his rear end for a minute and a half on the sideline. Do you want to go back in the game? Are you trying? Have you quit? If you've quit, you can go sit down. If you're not trying to haul, you can go sit down. We'll get somebody in there. Who cares?
The portal's wide open, buddy.
Right. Like you can scheme all you want.
Only get you so far.
Offensively and defensively. And that's kind of what we heard a lot yesterday at the podium. We're scheming. We're scheming. We've got a good scheme. But if the scheme is not finding its way on the field fast and hard and efficiently focused, then it doesn't matter that, we called the right play. Billy, the football player, didn't execute it. Well, guess what non-execution gets you, coaching staff? It doesn't matter if you schemed up everything correctly, if you've got the perfect play call, if only the offensive lineman would have blocked that one guy, then Ty would have seen X and it would have been a 100-yard touchdown pass and we're safe over here as coaches. We did our job. No. Your job is the entire package. You could boil this baby down to about my biggest complaint with high school games that I go out to is they're doing too much. You're doing too many plays. You're doing too many concepts. What I saw from Gordo this past Friday night was beautiful. Gordo might have run 4 plays the whole game. And they said, we're going to smash you right off this tackle and right off that tackle. And we got a counter as well. So if we get tired of this, we'll run counter. And then we have 2 passes. And they ran those plays the entire game. just smashing in the face. And was it ugly? Yes, it was ugly. But at the end of the game, you knew that Gordo was the better football team because they were the ones delivering the blows, winning the line of scrimmage, and the quarterback who was running out of basically Wildcat was running for 15 and 20 yards a pop because the other team got sick of tackling them because they were executing their 4 plays at a higher level than the other team executed any play. And so it's just like at some point, coaches, like, yes, you are really smart. You've got better scheme than I do sitting on the couch. We've all got we all will give you that. But at some point, you've got to have somebody that mother bleeps these guys into a frenzy, into what was it, Chance Warmack in the Notre Dame tunnel, coming right at you. Like, who is on this team that's gonna be rah-rah and the guys? And whether it's we miss Scott Cochran, good job West Alabama winning their first game of the year, great job.
This is the West Alabama show now.
Exactly. I bet Coach Cochran doesn't have a very thick playbook.
No,
I bet Coach Cochran.
I bet it's a clipboard with like 3 sheets on it.
I bet he is just, gosh,
he's got a keychain about that big with a couple laminated sheets on his pocket or hanging off his pocket or something. Like, what did you see this report? The John Talty from CBS, the program insiders told us that DeBoer truly believes he has the ability to out-scheme and outthink opponents and prioritizes it over mental toughness.
Yes, I saw this. Keep going.
I mean, that's really, he goes on. I asked one source who worked at Alabama under Saban about what the issue with DeBoer in Alabama was, and the answer made perfect sense. The only explanation I can give you is this. The source said, you have to be a different breed to survive in the SEC. And we've known this. We know this to be true. The SEC chews up good coaches and spits them out every single year. How much weight are we putting in this? Because as of right now, where I stand with this, I'm putting a lot of weight into it because it certainly looks that way on the field.
It does look that way on the field. It 100% looks that way on the field, and so it's like,
and then he even to hear him talk about it, it sounds like that way. All of the we're scheming, we're coming up with it. I don't care about the X's and O's here. You had guys in places to make plays, they just didn't tackle. You had guys in places to make catches, they didn't catch the ball. You had guys in places to make blocks, they didn't make blocks.
It's that, and combine it with what you see with the offense. Combine it with what you see in the offense for the last 2 years. It's we can scheme Jalen Milroe into a gap. We can scheme Ryan Williams open. We can scheme Jalen Milroe into easy throws. And on Saturday, it's, here's the look that they're giving us. We can scheme a passing concept. No, what's the Marshawn Lynch Madden play? Run through a mother bleeper's face. Like, at some point,
again.
Exactly.
And again.
We can scheme all we want, but if you're recruiting at this level, and you are, then run through a mother bleeper's face, and then your scheme is going to become wide open. Because, I've been tackling this stable of running backs, and now I can't keep up with Ryan Williams. I can't keep up with him. He's just running me ragged. Like,
it doesn't have to be. You don't have to be some guru out there when you recruit at this level. Like you just said, you just line them up. Let's play football. We have better players than you have. 90% of the time, Alabama takes the field. They've got better players than the other team across from them. Use that. You don't have to sit here and act like some, offensive savant and, I'm going to do this. So emotion like, just run through a mother bleeper's face.
I hate to be that blunt about it.
I do too, because I hate those fans a lot of the time, but it is that simple right now, seemingly at least.
It seems like what the program's missing. Last year, even in the Jalen Milroe quarterback run game, it was they've got the numbers advantage on this side, and we'll run a counter, we'll run pin and pull, and we'll just pin him in. And no, just go to your offensive lineman and say, "Are you a first-round draft pick?"
Yeah, I mean,
why are you playing with your pad so high? Why are you not driving off the football? Why are you standing straight up out of your stances, pretty much play in and play out? Why are we not moving the football? Why are we not moving your opponent 4 yards down the field? It's like people were, oh my gosh. The two takes that drove me the craziest this week were very non-Alabama related. It was, and you can take your victory lap right here. It was Arch Manning sucks. It was Arch Manning is terrible. It was Arch Manning's awful.
The worst quarterback we've ever seen.
Right. It was Arch Manning is terrible. He's the worst quarterback. And the second take that drove me absolutely crazy, because both of them are not true. Arch might have just been playing against a top 3 defense on the road in his first start.
Maybe a top 3 college defense of all time.
It could have been. No context related. Arch just sucks. Hate you guys. The second thing that drove me crazy, and this is a little Alabama related, is we should never have let Justice Haynes walk. Look how he runs his football. What was it? 28 carries for 160 something yards and 3 touchdowns.
Three touchdowns.
He looked great. He looked great
Against New Mexico.
Thank you. He looked great. It was not. Justice Haynes barely got touched. He was getting touched 5 yards down the field. He was getting touched as he's getting into the secondary. Like the offensive line for Michigan was opening up holes against New Mexico. But mind you,
Bryce Underwood looked pretty good too, though.
And I do think Bryce is a good player, and I think it's a good win. But
I'm with you.
It's not. It's not Justice Haynes behind the Alabama offensive line that's not opening up any really. Oh wow, Justice Haynes is 7 yards down the field and no one's touched him yet. Not even a hand in the running lane.
The tackles he was having to break were safeties and corners trying to tackle him, not linemen and linebackers.
So no, it's not sad that we should have kept Justice Haynes. Justice Haynes, what would he be getting behind this offensive line? What would he be getting in this Ryan Grubb, in this Kalen DeBoer, in this Nick Sheridan system? 7 carries a game, yeah. 8 touches a game. Like he went to Michigan to get used, and he went to their offensive line is going to run block. Just get some good pad level. Play hard. Get some good pad level and play hard. Let's start there. The scheme doesn't matter. And if you want to go ahead and take your Ohio State lap, it's fine.
We can spend a couple minutes there. I'm not going to. Like you just said, it is a stupid place to be if you are sitting here using that as your definitive example that Arch Manning sucks at football. However, I mean he looked rattled out there. The kid looked frazzled.
Yeah.
He was playing timid. He was happy feet, bailing out of the clean pockets, inaccurate.
Caleb Downs was messing with him.
I mean, he was in his head. It was like he was seeing ghosts. It was where's Caleb Downs? Where's Caleb Downs?
Yes.
Where's Caleb Downs?
Yes.
And a lot of credit to Ohio State, Matt Patricia. I think I believe that he was throwing. To hear even last night the pregame for TCU, they had Teddy Bruschi on it talking about he was throwing so many NFL concepts at Arch that of course he was going to struggle, man. It was his first start.
It was awesome to watch.
It was sweet. It was a fun game to watch. But even when he did have opportunities to make plays, he didn't make a lot of those plays. And I think, we'll get into it more. I think a lot of that same sentiment applies to Ty Simpson in this game. Arch did not lose Texas that game. Ohio State's defense being absolutely ridiculously insane lost Texas that game. And Ty Simpson did not lose Alabama this game.
Yeah, I agree.
The rest of the Alabama team playing like soft wimps lost Alabama this game. He was a problem. He was not the problem. And same goes to Arch. He was a problem, not the problem with that Texas team. I don't even know that they're I don't even know that there was a problem with that Texas team. I think Ohio State is just that good on defense.
I agree. I think Sark didn't call a great game.
Yeah, I think he asked him to do a little too much, I think. I think Ohio State had a better game plan for Julian Sayin than Texas had for Arch.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for sure.
Just quick, get the ball out. Don't ask him to do a whole lot. Throw to guys that are open. And Sayin looked clean.
Yeah, good job, Julian. Congrats, buddy. Former 2-time Joe Gaither show guest.
He looked good.
But I laughed. Did you stick with the broadcast long enough to hear Julian after the game?
I did not.
Total robot.
That's
1,000% They asked
from the school of Nick Saban.
They asked him how it felt, and he goes, "Well, it felt great to see the defense go out there and play really well. Felt great to watch this be picked up by my linemen and my receivers, my running backs. Just felt great to be a part of a great team win today."
That's good.
And I was like,
good on him.
I was like, the reporters are going to hate you, buddy.
Yeah. Look, it's a lot of talk about the Ohio State defense, obviously, but Texas defense is no slouch either. I mean, with 14-7, that was was a defensive battle.
Oh my gosh. Alabama's defense didn't show up to the battle.
No, they did not. I don't even know that they got on the bus.
All right. So I asked Theo yesterday, Mason. We'll ask you. If you are Kane Womack, Mason Woods becomes Alabama's defensive coordinator this week. What do you do to get things back on track?
Justin Jefferson, you're not playing football for me again. Bray Hubbard, you will not play football for me for a while until you can prove that you can't jog on my football field. Who else? LT Overton. Do you know how to play football? Because every time I looked at you, your back was to the ball. Let's see what else jumped out at me. I mean, just soft on the inside, soft up front. You know, a lot of guys getting pushed off the ball. I don't know how you fix that, if I'm being honest, because we sat there and we watched them hit the dummies. They hit those dummies pretty good. You know, what do you do? There was a couple of times I saw Isaiah Faga getting blown off the ball. You know, just turned around, pushed on. You know, ends up on his stomach. Like, what are we doing? This defense, it looked soft. And I think it starts with the up front, inside, your linebackers probably, because they were atrocious. I don't think Deontay Lawson's healthy. I would be reluctant to put him back out on the field. He looked like he was running with, a stiff leg the whole game. It was just like he was limping out there. I think you have to give some other guys chances to, step up and make plays here, because you can't trust the starters that you put on the field this past Saturday.
So that is another conceptual concept that I don't think a lot of people are really grasping wholly. Yes, I'm with you largely. If I was coaching this team, every inside linebacker is up for reps this week. Yeah. Every single one of them, and especially okay. All right, so it's twofold. You've got the ULM game, who ULM is not good. You put them on tape, they're not good. Yeah. And so what do? You use the game. I had a buddy text me this. You use the game to send a message to say, sorry, Bray, you're just not playing. We're playing Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. Sure. We're playing someone else.
Somebody that's hungry.
But the same thing with the inside linebackers. Yeah. Deontay, you don't look healthy, buddy. You're taking a week off, period, whether you're healthy or not. Justin Jefferson, Nikhai Hill-Green, you guys are on one pitch play probation, one play probation. Every one play you mess up, you're coming out. And I'd play Caden Green, and I'd play QB Reese, and I'd play Duke, Luke, and Abdul a lot. I would say, which one of you guys wants to?
Who wants to play next week?
Right. Who's the first one that wants to earn some trust?
Yeah.
So and whoever, because I think all five of them have a tool or three in their bag. Who wants to earn some trust first? Is it you, Luke Metz? Maybe so. Is it you, Duke Johnson? Duke was got shown on the sidelines a good bit, probably because of the hair. He's got nice dreads, and people, he's photogenic. But you'd start asking them, who, Abdul, everybody heard great things about you in the spring. You want to earn some real trust and playing time, because we're looking for the first inside linebacker that we can trust. And I would just not necessarily pit the two age groups against each other. I wouldn't do that. But it's like you got one older guy and one younger guy out there, and who's earning trust. And as soon as you mess up, zoop, you're off, rotate, and you just have the group of three older guys and the group of five younger guys, and you just rotate them in and out, and in and out, in and out, in and out. Who's going to go hit somebody? Who's going to go take someone's soul? And that's how you start earning trust. Bingo. But we're to this concept, Mason, because of the transfer portal. Yeah. Because of all the changes in college football. Because used to be, it was, older guy, Nick Saban, older guy on Nick Saban's team, hasn't got playing time yet. Will he get playing time, or will it be redshirt sophomores time? Because the pipeline in the depth is so full. Mm-hmm. And like right now, you've in like almost every look at the offensive line, it's the same way. You look at Caden Proctor and you're like, okay, Caden, you played meh. You had some okay and some real bad, but what do? Do you go ahead and just pull him out and play Jackson Lloyd, play Michael Carroll? Do you play Olasa Lennon? Do you play some of these guys who have the huge gap is there? And the depth in college football is eroding things. The same thing of what happened with defensive line. Tim Keenan, you've got Tim Keenan and James Smith. Well, as soon as you lose Tim Keenan, it's like, well, every young man, every younger player gets a chance, and who's gonna get a shot? And so, like, there's a chance that you say this about inside linebacker and you take Deontay Lawson and Justin Jefferson off the field and you put some freshmen in there, and it all just goes to even worse crud.
Yeah, there is a chance.
So it's like, what do you what do you even do? What can you even do? Because the depth is just not great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because like it is a depth thing, but it is also seemingly like a culture thing with the guys at the top who just aren't trying, who aren't putting forth the effort that they need. So like, are you to the point where you will actively play worse on the field to send a message to guys right now? Because I feel like you're reaching that point if you're not already there. We will put worse players on the field if it means I'm sending a message to the starter. Sometimes you got to do things like that.
I think you probably should be at that point.
Yeah.
For right now.
Especially against ULM.
And maybe even Wisconsin.
Yeah. Oh, they look bad too.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'll take these 2 voicemails, and Mason and I will play a little game. So we're here on the Joe Gaither Show in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. We'll be back right after this. Get ready, Tuscaloosa. New Era Wrestling presents the Crimson Clash. The hottest local wrestling show in town slams into 2 dimes on Thursday, September 11th. Witness the chaos as social media sensation Big Trouble Ben Bishop brings his larger-than-life swagger to the ring. The man is 6'12". He weighs 15% of a metric ton and is bringing every bit to Tuscaloosa. Feel the heat when our new champion Sleazy C. Caden Newton defends the open title, and don't miss the brutal street fight between the modern-day Kings and the unstoppable force known as the Draw. It's the same weekend as Alabama hosting Wisconsin, so keep the Tuscaloosa energy high with the Crimson Clash. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the bell rings at 8 p.m. at 2 dimes on the Strip. Grab your tickets now on Eventbrite by searching New Era Wrestling and use promo code RADIO for 20% off. New Era Wrestling, where legends are made and the battles are epic. And we are live at the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. You can call the show, leave a voicemail at 205-462-7340, extension 800. Call Derek for all of your insurance needs. Come visit him today right off of McFarland Boulevard. We're right past the Tiger Rock, past the Rustic Rehab on the left. You can come visit the show. You can come visit Derek. Get yourself a free auto insurance quote by checking him out. Call Derek today at 205-758-3391. So we got 2 voicemails in the tank. We want to honor those and appreciate everybody who's calling at 205-462-7340, extension 800. Let's see what the voicemail line's got to say.
That's Cam here. Yeah, that was a very sloppy performance on both sides. Went into the season kind of expecting the offensive line to struggle as they did last year. Had no push. I felt like the coaching staff as well felt they knew that was our weakest part of the team. That's why they abandoned the run so early. Can't really judge Ty by the way he played. I mean, I thought he played as good as he could, as being his first start on the road in a hostile environment. Just no time to drop back and make his reads, and constantly on the run, not being able to get any good runs off. Defensive line, we knew that was going to be a problem when we lost Tim Keenan. But it just, the guys on defense just playing at 50%, not knowing what they were doing. My thing about it is, if you don't know what you're doing, at least play at full speed. If you're out of position, at least go 100%. We've got a lot to clean up. Good thing we've got a game against ULM this weekend to kind of get things back on track. But as of now, we've got a long ways to go. I appreciate it, guys. Roll Tide.
You want to respond to Cam real quick? And this might be a good chance for you to give your Ty Simpson opinion.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of takes that have gone on both sides of the fence with Ty Simpson about this game. A lot of people who are making a lot of excuses for him and saying, well, he did his best. He did the best he could. He tried his Sure, he tried. He still wasn't good. I mean, let's be objective here, folks. He wasn't horrible, but he was not good. He missed a lot of open plays. He bailed out of a lot of the few clean pockets he had. Didn't run the ball particularly well. He tried real hard, and I give him a lot of credit for that. But he was not good on Saturday. Jeremy Bernard gave him a lot of those 254 yards that people are throwing in my face as some Ty Simpson looked great. How many Jeremy have? 140 of them. It was just him getting open and Ty finding him 3 seconds late. Ty was late on almost all of his completions. He was not good. He just was not the worst problem with the team. He is a problem with the team, though, certainly. I think a lot of what he did bad can be cleaned up with some better blocking and things like that. But he still was not good.
Yeah, no, Ty was fine. Ty
was very okay.
Yes, he was fine. I feel like the abandoning of the running game is the biggest sin, really, offensively.
I think it threw him off too because it put him by like the third quarter. You could see it visibly, like he was a little eyes wide, deer in headlights at some points, and I think it's because they were just asking him to do too much.
Well, if you knew you were going to go for it on fourth down so many times, I mean, you were 2 of 5, so you missed 3 fourth downs, right? If you know you're going for it on fourth down, you're in fourth down territory, which. Kicker issue, goodness gracious. If you know you're going for it, why are you on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 trying to throw the football as well for however many yards?
Yeah, whatever.
And coming up with just you take the Ty Simpson shakedown. Why don't you run through a mother and get yourself to a 4th and 4, right? Get yourself to a 4th and 3. I know they said, there was no explosives. We weren't getting explosives. I don't care. Like, so what? Like, take your hammer and smash the rock again. How many times do you have to hit the rock before it splits open? Maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe 30. Like, this is proverbial speaking, but like you got to smash that rock a bunch. But then as soon as it hits and the crack happens, the next strike of the hammer is going to decimate the entire rock. And so it's like I just was disappointed in the entire.
You just have to stay committed to it, and they did not. They abandoned. I mean, what was the stat they showed during the game? It was 60 some odd 70 rushing yards on the first drive, and then 2, and we were sitting 8 minutes into the fourth quarter. Or something. You had 2 rushing yards since the first drive. Ridiculous.
Kevin Riley's like last carry game with like 11 minutes left in the game, and they didn't run the ball again.
Insane. That's not going to help your quarterback out at all. But I still, if we're just still back to like my actual Ty point, he was a problem with this team, not the problem.
Right, Ty and DeBoer. That's one area they didn't really sugarcoat, and I appreciate that. They said that he needs to sit there and grip it and rip it,
and he did in a lot of cases.
Right, there was a lot of, is this what I see? I'm seeing this happen. Is it really what I see? Oh, yes, it is what I see. Mm-hmm. And throwing the football, like he was a 72 for me. Yeah. He was a 73 for me.
I think the grade I gave him in the tweet I put out was like a C+, which is
all right. That's higher than I have it. Yeah,
I was maybe being a little generous, probably, but
he wasn't very accurate in my opinion.
Pretty inaccurate.
The first pass to Jeremy, we talked about it just briefly yesterday. The first pass to Jeremy was behind him. Jeremy sits on a knee to stop and wait for the ball, and it was indicative of all game long. He throws the pass out to Kevin Riley on 4th and 5, and it's behind him and high instead of right in front of him. Like if that ball is right in front of him, Riley drags the guy for 2 yards, and it's a first down. Instead of jumping up in the air, having zero momentum when you come back down, and the Florida State guy puts his head right in Riley's back and stops him on 4th and on 1 yard away from the down marker. Like some of his like he had one to Josh Cuevas that Josh had to turn and stop back for, and it's like, yay, 2 yards. If that had been out in front of him and a good pass, would have been 3 at least, but maybe 4, 5, or 6. There's a couple accuracy like. Ty, you're gonna have to see it a little quicker.
Yeah.
You can see the tools. You can see you are starting. You're getting your head to the right place. You're getting your eyes to the right place. You are, but you're also having that thought in your head of, my eyes are in the right place. I see what I see. Do I see what I see? Yes, I see what I see. I'm gonna throw it.
Yeah, it's just got to be. I see it, I throw it.
Right. And so, yeah, about a 73 is what I give Ty.
I think that his legs can be a very legitimate tool for this offense.
Right. And some of the options where he did go with his legs were because, oh, shoot, I saw it and I also saw the window close. I should have thrown that.
Yeah.
And now I'm running to try to make chicken salad out of chicken bleep.
Yeah. I think that, he just needs to lock in a little bit, settle down a bit. He looked a little rattled in that game, similar to kind of the way we talked about, or the way I talked about Arch Manning. I think they look kind of similar in just the level of just, it all kind of hit, all kind of culminated, and I think it rattled them just a touch. Offenses asked them both to do a little more than they were maybe comfortable with in that first real start, But yeah, overall, I still think you can win games with Ty.
All right, let's keep going. One more voicemail, 205-462-7340, extension 800.
Good morning, guys. Hope all is well. The sun come up. Talk to me, guys. Is this a 7-5 team or worse, or a 7-5 team or better? I want to say defensive line injuries hurt us. I just get concerned about. I'm not ready to change coaches. That's stupid for people to be saying that. I say let the season play out. I just there's no fire in the coach. I don't know. Maybe that's just the way he is. No emotion like Coach Saban. We're all been spoiled under him. But I think if they come out and play good against the next opponent and look good at areas, and then Wisconsin, we could beat Georgia and all sins be forgiven. But even if we lose to Georgia, but we stood toe-to-toe with them, I'll still feel better about this team at 2-2. But talk to me, guys. Tell me the good and bad. Good luck. Good job with what y'all do. Thank you, Joe, for all you do for high school football. Last Friday, Brookwood broke a 20-game losing streak and looked like the old Alabama by defeating West Flocka. And then Saturday, Alabama looked like the old Brookwood. Have a good week, guys.
First, go Panthers. Brookwood Panthers breaking that 20-game losing streak. Well done. Oh, 7-5 or better, or 7-5 or worse?
That team that played on Saturday is 7-5 or worse. I don't know that we're going to get that team the rest of the year. We'll have to see. But if that team that played on Saturday is what you have, that is a 7-5 or worse football team.
Right, because you've got Gunnar Stockton ran for over 40-something yards, 50 yards. You had Lenoris, who ran fairly. Lenoris ran for like 25 yards, but it was only the one run in the red zone.
There's one that we are the one.
Yeah, it's Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold
went to go for 220 yards against this defense.
Jackson Arnold rushed for like 135 yards and 2 touchdowns for Auburn.
I think he threw 11 passes.
Diego ran for like 50 yards. I wrote all these down yesterday, but I don't have them all in the top of my head. Diego ran for like 50 yards. It's like, it's going to be, y'all better figure this out today. Today, Junior. You better figure this out. Yeah, you have a very thank God Garrett Nussmeier can't move.
You might be able to get one good upset in this season.
Oh my goodness. John Mateer, a little bit athletic with Oklahoma, but he's going to try to throw it more. But they'll just put Jaden Ott as Wildcat quarterback. O-T-T ought to go.
And oh man, I don't know. Oh man. Yeah, no, that team that played Saturday, that is a bad football team. That's a you're scraping the bottom of the barrel in the SEC.
Yes, because the effort said it. Like, you can talk about scheme all you want. 4-2-5, 3-5-6, 4-4-2-3.
Players were in position to make plays more often than not, and they just didn't.
Right. So, Coach Womack, I don't give a rip about what scheme we're using.
Couldn't care less.
Can we just
we have guys that sprint?
Get the guys who play on 10, right?
I thought that, and I don't want to just pick on one player, but everyone has seen the clips on their Twitter feed, I'm sure. Like, I really, really thought Bray Hubbard was one of those players. Did not look like one on Saturday. Way too much loafing on the field. And he was not the only one. It was a lot of players. But he's just the one example I've seen the most.
Bray Hubbard ran like, man, them hogs getting away.
Oh, well.
I had a shot on it, but it ran away.
I'll get the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's somebody else's.
We're sitting up in our deer stand, and the next one's going to come through. I'm not. Put the war paint on and go chase that hog.
Yeah. Go kill that thing with your bare hands.
Yes. That's your food, Bray. Like, I know we don't live in those times anymore. We don't. Thank the Lord. Praise the Lord. We don't live in those times anymore where all of us have to go kill for our food. But Bray, embrace the warrior mentality, the hunter's mentality, right? We got to relate something that you do off the field to on the field. When your ancestors were your ancestors and was their time, if they let that hog go, they weren't eating. Their daughters, their sons, their families, they weren't eating. Go get that hog, Bray Hubbard. Come on, man. You get
Yeah.
get on your ATV and boom, 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 go chase it down.
Yeah. And hit it a little high, maybe too. That'd be cool. Just right up at the top, you know. I'll take one targeting call if it sends a message.
Oh, Bob Coolis, I appreciate your comment, but I don't think this is happening. Bob Coolis on the Facebook machine. They got to get Nick Saban back in as head coach. Oh,
Man, I couldn't tell you how much I spent this weekend just watching all of the edits come through my feed of, you know, Nick Saban highlights set to some piano music. It's, oh man, beautiful stuff. But no, that is not happening, unfortunately. I don't believe Nick Saban is ever coaching again.
well, let's use this to move here. I had so many people. Well, Joe, what are we going to do? Are we going to fire the coach? We need to fire the coach. And Robert, thank you for this on your voicemail. Robert, you're exactly right. He said, we're not firing the coach. You're not firing the coach, not at this buyout. Like, what are we going to do? We're all going to sit back here and just watch the rest of the season.
Yep.
That's all we're going to do. So, like, if you can't do that, then you may as well stop watching football this year because that's the only thing we can do. You can get online and yeah about this is over and no, we never thought it was going to be an end and why, you know, everything's that death and destruction and I'm suicidal. And
unless you yourself are the one signing that $70 million check, he is not getting fired.
All right. And 99.9% of the people commenting online have no control over anything. You don't have any influential ear. And even if you did have that level of money, it doesn't matter. What you're doing this year, Billy Gump, is sitting back and saying, well, we got ULM on Saturday and I'm going to watch it.
I mean, I saw so many different coaches photoshopped into an Alabama polo this
What
weekend.
are we going to do? Nothing.
John Summerall, Lane Kiffin, the classic. You know, I think I saw Kenny Dillingham once. Like, just preposterous options, some of these. It's just not happening, folks.
Well, who's the
Kalen
Notre Dame
DeBoer's here to
coach?
stay. Yeah, Marcus Freeman.
That's
yeah,
who we
saw
want.
that one. Yeah.
We want the Notre Dame. We want Marcus Freeman or we want Alex Golesh.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset. I think I saw Alex Golesh as well. It's not happening though, folks. Kalen DeBoer's here, and he is the football coach here, probably for a while.
After USF beats Alabama next year, we'll just kidnap Alex Golesh.
He's not leaving Tuscaloosa.
You're staying, sir.
Oh man, yeah, no, you folks, you need to get that out of your brain because it's not happening. Look, this Alabama football program's got a lot of money. They don't have that kind of money.
Well, and I don't think they want to spend $70 million on the buyout and getting rid of all the assistant coaches and hiring new coaches and hiring new assistant coaches. Look, you don't want to be doing that.
No, you look at where Auburn has been since they fired the guy that just beat Alabama. That's where that gets you.
Exactly. Firing them over and over and over again is not the answer. Yeah. So what you're going to do is just buckle up and say, man, I hope they get it right on Saturday. And let's hope they get it right on Saturday.
Let's hope they do.
Mason Woods, we'll save our game for tomorrow. What we want to do, I think we're going to have Henry Sklar join us. What we want to do is go through the 2008 all the way through this year. Who's the guy? Who is the one Alabama player you don't want to end up in a dark alley with? Who's the one Alabama player that you don't want on your case? Alabama has always had these player-led teams in the Nick Saban era where we all remember Ronnie Harrison fighting on the sidelines. We all remember everybody getting after each other. Rwanda McClain famously getting after some of his teammates as well. Javier Arenas on that 09 team was cut from that cloth. We'll talk about some of the players who you didn't want to run into in a dark alley. Does this Alabama team have anyone that you're afraid of? Anyone that you're afraid of running afoul against, whether it be, I didn't turn in my homework, now the whole team is running gassers. I didn't go to class, now we're all running gassers. Who is the player who said, dang it, we ain't running gassers for your hind end. We're all going to class, and you better be going to class too. I don't know. Is there anyone in here who says, look, the other 10 of us got our assignment right. Why couldn't you get your assignment on the football field right, Billy Defender? Come on now. What's wrong with you? And, you've got to see Coach DeBoer, yes, but you have to see this player as well. Is that what's lacking from this year's team? We'll play that game tomorrow. We'll go through every year of the Saban era and the last 2 years to see if there's anybody with any sort of get up and go in them on this Alabama roster. So we'll do that tomorrow. You can leave us your comments at 205-462-7340, extension 800. You can leave us your comments at Joe Gaither 6 and at MA Woods _ and Bama Central on all the platforms as well. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither 6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.